Hello to all. This is our Thibert, 35-year comic book veteran, this wacky industry. Most of my career, Marvel, DC, worked a little bit of time at Image Comics. So hi, welcome to my studio, Hack Shack Studios. This is where I draw all my creations, my comic book creations. They're all done here. So this is going to be a very cool stream, you guys. We are going to count down Chrono Mechanics, the newest creation from the studio here. Yes, and a major labor of love. So this is day 2 of the countdown. So the countdown went up yesterday. So this is day 2. And hola, hey you guys. Yes, so we are going to do some partying. So I have some stuff to talk about, but it's going to be mostly chitter chatter between you guys and myself. So it's just going to be kind of a BS session, but I am going to be inking. Let me show you. I am going to be bringing this page together. So it's in blue lines. It's a little tough to see. However, once I start throwing an ink line on here, I think I'm going to have to tighten it up a little bit in pencils first, and then I'm going to full on start inking it for your dining and dancing pleasure. So we have that, and then yeah, like I said, we can kind of just BS for a while. You guys usually are quite entertaining. So anything you want to talk about, anything you want to bring into the party, feel free. Any kind of alcohol. This is a bring your own. What is that? BYOU. Is that it? Bring your own, or is it? Oh, yeah, bring your own. I used to know that stuff when I used to party. I don't party anymore. I don't even know the terminology anymore. No more partying for this guy, except here, except the Chrono Party, which is what we're going to do. So yeah, so if you guys don't know, Chrono Mechanics is my newest IP, and it's about time-traveling repairmen who repair the big machine known as time. So when I say big machine known as time, I'm literally talking about a big nuts and bolts cosmic clockwork machine that regulates all time, creates time, regulates time. So when this thing breaks down, it's an ancient machine, so it breaks down quite a bit. We need repairmen to fix it, just like you need people to repair, your plumbing or your electricity or your car or, whatever else breaks down. So these guys are just like knuckle busting, average Joes, just like the guys that save the day constantly in our world. Power line goes down. Well, some guy goes out there, pain in the ass job, repairs it, and guess what? Now you have electricity again. That guy's a hero, but we never acknowledge them as heroes. So that's kind of the premise with this. We have Team 9.2 of Sector 7, and they save time and time again. Ha ha. There's tons of puns with this concept, by the way. And but nobody knows they're doing it, so it's a thankless job. They just go, they do their pain in the ass job, and then they go home. And that's pretty much it. So this story that I'm telling focuses on Team 9.2 of Sector 7, and they are the best of the best mechanics Chrono Incorporated has ever had. So that's why we're focusing on it. You don't want to focus on the worst, although that could be pretty funny unto itself. Maybe I'll do a story like that where we focus on the worst team that Chrono Incorporated has ever put together. And if you guys are wondering, Chrono Incorporated is kind of self-explanatory, but I'll explain it anyway. It's the corporation, it's the business that runs the repair company that is responsible for maintaining and fixing the big machine. So it's just kind of like a plumbing company or electricity company or whatever, that oversee their guys that go out to the work site and repair, whatever damage or whatever needs to be fixed. So that's pretty much the concept. So Team 9.2 of Sector 7 is comprised of what Chrono Inc. does is they recruit the best of the best throughout time. So all timelines, and even timelines and galaxies and worlds you and I don't know about, because the galaxy is immense and so is time. So there's going to be people in this story that aren't even human. So it's going to be cool. So it's very, very sci-fi. It's humorous. It's funny. And so recruited for Team 9.2 is Oot, who is probably the first big success that blip that came on Chrono Incorporated's radar. So he's a prehistoric businessman. We used to say, before Trump was a four-letter word, we actually had pitches. Get this, you guys. We have when I was developing this for Kids WB, the animation company, that's another story. But in a nutshell, I had a development deal to bring Chrono Mechanics to Warner Brothers, Kids WB, before they went defunct, and that's why it didn't happen. But in the pitch, Oot was explained as, his definition was, he was a prehistoric Donald Trump. And Hollywood didn't have a problem with it then. So he was a prehistoric Donald Trump. And I think Donald Trump was still just as big of an a-hole then as he is now. I don't know why they have such a big problem with him now, because he's the same guy he's always been. But anyways, the reason I compared him to Donald Trump is because Oot was a real estate mogul of his time. So he was the first kind of real estate broker in his era. And so he had a thing called the cave condos. So basically these hollowed out caves that happen naturally. He would bring some comforts into them, as in fire, his new invention. And so he was selling these condos like crazy, and he soon became the go-to guy of his time. So they didn't really have money, but they would do barter, trades and stuff like that. So one of the big things about Oot was he also has to do well, business-wise, because he has a wife and many, many little Oots. So he has quite a family to provide for. And his wife, Limmy, really loves the beads and trinkets. So when he gets paid in beads and trinkets, his wife just goes crazy. So he becomes, the good guy, the good provider, when he can do that for his wife. And just a little side note, Oot, the name Oot for the character, and his wife Limmy came from my daughter, who, when I created this concept, I believe she was around 6 or 7. So it's a 6 or 7 year old's, names that came up with, that she came up with, and I thought they were brilliant, Oot and Limmy. And so all the little Oots are just little Oots. So it's like they don't really have names. There's Oot 1, Oot 2. So that's the backstory for Oot. And then we have the next one up. We have Caravaggio, and Caravaggio is loosely based on the real, Renaissance painter Caravaggio. And so one of the things, historically speaking, Caravaggio he never really got his upcomings in his lifetime. He never really got the praise that people thought he deserved, and probably that he thought he deserved. So I loosely took that idea and brought that into this character. So he's a frustrated artist. So he's not, he doesn't get his praise. And so he's not exactly happy. And he is convinced, he may be a little paranoid, although I know that he's not. He feels that Leonardo da Vinci is stealing his thunder, that da Vinci is stealing his painting techniques and his inventions, because my Caravaggio is a little bit of an inventor as well. So, da Vinci has these ninjas, and they're called the ninjas. And they go and they break into Caravaggio's workshop and basically, steal ideas and things from him and inventions. And then they go report to their boss, Leonardo da Vinci. So that's why da Vinci is the guy that we all know, and Caravaggio is kind of, some people know him, but a lot of people don't. So that's his backstory. So you can obviously see why Chrono Inc. would want him, because he's an inventor and he's he's quite an artist. So he's an innovator. He's a pioneer, much like Oot. So you can kind of see the pattern here. So the next one is Zin, who is a child deity. He is a deity, and he's really like, if he was a human, he would probably be about, I don't know, 8, 7, 8, maybe 9 years old. And so he grew up on a planet. He was kind of like abandoned. So he grew up on a planet where there didn't seem like there was any life forms at all. But he befriended some life forms, but no one can see them. So most people just thought they were imaginary, but he was convinced that they were there, and he would talk to them. And then they slowly started worshiping him as a deity, as he grew up, and as he because he could do things, more stuff than they could do. And so then the word got out throughout the galaxy. So he also had a mantra, since he was abandoned and he was the only one of his kind of like Tigger. He would preach. He had this Trinity gem, which is it's a gem from that home world. It's a piece of magic rock, and it's shaped like a pyramid. And so what he would do is he created a philosophy or a mantra or a religion based on the me, myself, and I. So the Trinity gem, the three pieces are the me, myself, and I. And basically it's a self-reliant mantra. And so then he would go throughout the galaxy and he would preach his mantra to be more self-sufficient and independent. And so when he did that, like Honey Boo Boo, no, not like Honey Boo Boo at all. No, this guy's cool. Honey Boo Boo sucks. And so, so he'd go out throughout the galaxy, but the gag and the humor is that only lower life forms really, really worship him as a deity. So nobody that has a brain in their head really follows him. But there's a lot of people throughout the galaxy that don't have a brain in their head. So he becomes quite popular. So also you can see why Chrono Inc. would want that guy. Okay, so they had a fourth member, and you know what? I might be getting into spoiler territory here. Should I continue? Because anything I say beyond this is spoiler. So you guys in the chat, let me know if you want me to spoil it. It won't spoil the overall story adventure, but it kind of spoils a little bit of a team dynamic that's taking place in the story proper. So let me know if I get at least 3 people that say move forward. I will. If not, I'll just BS for a while until you guys chime in. Okay, so then I thought about this, and a friend of mine said, he said, you know what? Oh no, it was when I was putting together a pitch for something, and I realized, or maybe it was my wife that said, each one of those 4 members of Team 9.2 are kind of like you. And I was like, what? And they're like, you're kind of an entrepreneur businessman, like Oot. You run a studio and you create IPs, and you have an ink studio and such. And I was like, okay. And they're like, Caravaggio, you're an artist, and most of the time you're frustrated. Yeah. And then it's like, I go, how am I like Zen? And it's like, well, you're a blowhard. You pontificate all the time. You're always talking smack. And it's like, okay. And then the last is, okay, spoil us. Okay, I got 2 spoiled, just a little. Okay, I got enough. I'll move forward. Okay, so the 4th member is a new recruit. His name is Doug, and he's a 70s rock, icon. So everybody loves him. He's kind of like he's a cross between Steven Tyler and Ted Nugent of the time. So he's got a voice like Tyler, but he shreds on guitar like Nugent. So he's kind of that time, and he even wears headbands occasionally, and he has bell-bottom flares. So he's exceptionally cool for the time. And his claim to fame is he wears the mullet, or he sports the mullet before the 80s, before it became fashionable. So, like all good rock stars, they have to have a fashion, they have to pioneer some kind of look. So, he brought in his fiery, because he's a redhead, so he's got the fiery red mullet, so people dig that. So yeah, so he's a new recruit, so he's a rock guy, and so apparently, or obviously, I used to play music in the 70s, actually early 80s. So Doug is a little bit of me as well, as far as the rock part of it. So each one of those 4 has a little piece of my personality in them, and I never realized that until either, I don't know how it came up. I don't remember. Maybe Pamela brought it up or somebody brought it up. But I thought Ted Tyler, yeah, or Tyler Ted, or Tyler Nugent. That's kind of cool, Tyler Nugent. And so in the 70s, he's just kind of known as the D. So, you know, he's so cool that he just has an initial. You know, he's the D. So he's the rock guy of the time. So as you read the book, you kind of wonder, like, why did Chrono Inc. recruit this guy? You know, because he doesn't have any real obvious attributes. He's pretty much a slacker and a loser. He's a 20th century slacker loser. And one of the policies of Chrono Incorporated is they don't recruit from the 20th or the latter part of the 20th century. So the early part of the 20th century, oh, they'll recruit away. But the latter part, no. And so everybody's like, why this guy? And so when you read the story, you'll realize how Doug fits into not only the team, but into Chrono Incorporated as well. So Andrew J says, I'm sure Doug's fans wanted the D. Oh yeah, they want the D. And you know what? After you guys read the story, you're going to want the D as well. So is this a party or what? So I have Nin, I have Cam, I have Andrew, I have Eric Weathers. Hey, Eric, how are you, man? I saw Spoil Us, but I didn't see your name. D Geek Art is in the chat. Buffy Tannen is in the chat. All right, man, this is a party. We got Peter in the chat. Yeah, we got some people. We got some people. Yeah, so this we got Muskie. This is a bring your own, guys. So I'm not supplying the dip or the alcohol. So, but I will try to entertain you as much as I can. It's really dry here, so I'm going to be interrupting a lot and drinking water. This is fire season for SoCal, so I'm going to get my tools out. I think I set this up enough. Oh, well, if you guys don't know, there is a pre-launch for Chrono Mechanics right now, and it's only going to be up for today and tomorrow because we're going live Wednesday. So if you want, okay, I'm just going to say it. All right, there's a special tier that's hidden just for the early signups. They're the only ones that are going to get access to it. And I'm just going to tell you what you get. There's going to be a trading card set that accompanies the Chrono Mechanics campaign. So each tier has a collector card attached to it. So, you know, and they're free. You're not paying for the cards. They just come along with the book. So the book is the normal price, but you get a free trading card. And so there's an ultimate tier where you can get all 10 of the cards. But the ultimate tier is the only place you can get all 10. It's a special discounted price, but it has 4 cards that you can't get anywhere else. So only the ultimate tier will have those trading cards, all 10 of the cards. So even if you bought all the individual tiers separately, you wouldn't be able to get the entire set of cards. You could only get them in the ultimate tier. So having said that, you can also get them if you sign up now. If you sign up for the pre-launch campaign now, you will get all 10 of those cards absolutely free. So it will cost you no more other than your signature and your email information. And so the reason I'm being so generous here is because my hopes are that you guys will be early supporters on the campaign. So once this thing goes live, you guys can jump in and get your 10, you know, your whole set for free, and get your book. And it's the tier isn't going to bust the bank. It's just basically the book with 10 cards. So you'll get the book, a signature, and the 10 cards for just the price of the book itself. So that's my thanks to you guys for coming in early and helping support. Well, one, you're probably already here in the tier, or in the chat, so most of you guys have already signed up. But if you could help get the word out, Also, a thumb up, and subs always help to move this channel and to get the word out. But yeah, so that's what the pre-launch is. So you'll get those free collector card set if you sign up and if you pledge, or I don't know what Kickstarter says pledge for the tier. I don't like any of those things. I'll just say if you pick up the book. If you pick up the book, then you can get those things. So I think that's my plug there. And once again, Chrono Incorporated, or not Chrono Incorporated, Chrono Mechanics is going live Wednesday, early Wednesday. So we're going to do that. So Edward the Ace is in here. Edward, Kevin, thank you so much for supporting all of the stuff I put up on Twitter. I appreciate it. I'm starting to do this more on a regular basis, so I'm recognizing your names now. So it's starting to feel like we're building a little bit of a Hack Shack family here. So I do appreciate you guys. And like I said, we have Edwin the Ace Alciovedo. So what does he say? Let me put this up, and then I do need to start drawing and inking. RT Bear, you're doing this all wrong. You're supposed to insult your fans and call us names. You know what? Even if that was a business model and it worked, I don't think I could do that. It's not in my nature. I'll think about it though, Edwin. I'll look into it. I'll see if I can get, dig down and get mean and angry. I can do that. No, I can't. I'll try though. I'll look into it. All right, so here we go. Switch the camera over. So I don't know if you guys know, but on some of these pages, I will be working with the talent known as Render Contender. So I did some layouts, and I'll probably have some work in progress. Either I'll show them in videos, or I'm writing something down because I got to remember that. Okay, or it'll be in the sketchbook. So I'll either do it in form of a video, or because there's going to be a sketchbook involved with Chrono Mechanics as well. So it's going to be called Work in Progress, and it will have a bunch of behind the scenes development stuff. It'll probably have the pitch too, the Kids WB pitch in there. The animation pitch will probably be in there. There's going to be a bunch of cool stuff in there, and there's going to be some developmental stuff from Render Contender and myself. So there'll be some cool extras there. So you get to see some behind the scenes shenanigans of how this book came together, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff. I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes once I get in the rhythm here, I'll be able to talk better, but this is still kind of new for me, drawing and talking. But yeah, that's going to be cool, and that's going to be the work in progress sketchbook, and I'm really looking forward to putting that together for you guys. All right, this ear is bugging me. So this character here is Skippy. And we used to call him an intern, but he's way more than an intern. He's the foreman, the big boss's right-hand man. So he does what the foreman doesn't have time to do. The more day-to-day menial stuff, I guess. But he's definitely not underappreciated by Chrono Incorporated, and he does have some major insight because he does understand the day-to-day goings-on of the company. Probably second only to, well, third only to the foreman and this character here, who's Eugene the Elucidator. And Eugene the Elucidator is he's a computer. So this is a giant computer, but you're only getting to see part of it. So this is the interactive room where you can interact with the computer program. But this computer, this big machine, is at the very heart of Chrono Incorporated, and it has every timeline, every detail of the world since the beginning is all logged in here. So what Chrono Incorporated did is they built Eugene, and Eugene is an acronym. I can't remember what it is for now. Interactive something, but there's like a persona that the computer can manifest, and that's Eugene. So he's not just like typing on a computer, keyboard. Skippy and whoever can actually interact with the Elucidator himself, and so they're going through their day-to-day, but then there's a problem that's coming up here. And so Eugene also wants to be human really bad. So he's a machine that wants to become human. And so he's kind of sensitive. So he can see that Skippy's having a hard time with what's going on. So instead of just being the guy on the screen, he manifests himself. So he can manifest himself into an actual physical hologram, so he can seem as close to human as possible. You know what? This guy's pretty tight. I might just start inking Eugene so you can see, because the pencils and these blue lines don't really show up that well. The camera is pretty good, but the ink shows up better. So let me see. This is an old Chrono page. So that looks pretty good. Yeah, so the inks are showing up. Let me see. It's a little dark. Let me open up this. Try to get better quality for you guys. Is that better? Yeah, it looks a little better. Or is that blown out? This camera is very light sensitive, man. I don't like it at all. Actually, it's not doing the blue lines any justice. I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but the perfectionist in me always comes out. Try to get you the best picture I can. Maybe if I move this in a little bit. All right, I'm just going to start inking because this pencil thing is for the birds. For the birds. So yeah, so Eugene is manifesting himself into a more physical form. So Skippy feels a little bit more comforted. Skippy's kind of like a skittish cat. So one of the things about Chrono Mechanics is it also comes with a unique look. So it's kind of derived from a Mobius European style. So I did a video where I was I'm gonna have to warm up to you guys. I haven't inked in a while. I've been so busy putting this Indiegogo page together. I haven't really drawn or inked in a few days, so I always get rusty. So it's a derivative of that. So it's kind of like Hanna-Barbera animation or Disney animation mixed with like a Mobius European style, because I love all that stuff. Those guys are so good. Yeah, so I like a lot of different styles. I think my favorite thing about comics is just the varying styles. So I've never really subscribed to just one style or one way of doing something. So I always use this analogy of I like David Bowie, and David Bowie was always like a chameleon. So every time you turned around, he would reinvent himself with a new look or a different style. And so I always liked that, and I just innately liked that. It wasn't necessarily like a conscious decision to do it, but having hindsight now, I think that's maybe one of the reasons I have longevity in the industry is because I can kind of shift over and try different things, and it feels natural and organic. And like I said, I'm a fan of all these different styles. So usually I'm pretty hip on whatever styles are happening, except I absolutely despise like a lot of this Tumblr style art that's happening. I don't know how else to describe it at Marvel, and I think it's more at Marvel than DC. I think DC still pays their artists well and cares about the product. I haven't worked for them in a year, so I don't know where they're at right now. But when I was working there, they definitely had that kind of outlook. I think Marvel just wants to save money. And so, you get what you get when you do that. And Marvel used to pride themselves on having a house style. So, how to draw the Marvel way and all that other stuff. So if they're doing this, then what is the house style? Tumblr art? Like you're not exactly pushing the envelope there. So yeah, it's almost fan art-ish. And also, it's not really like that Tumblr art isn't really taking into consideration a comic history. Like most of those guys, they didn't grow up on Kirby, and they probably don't even care about Neil Adams or most of these people. So they just kind of subscribe to that. It's like a pseudo animation style. And it's so weird that if you go onto Tumblr, it's almost all identical. Like it really feels the same. Like you can't tell one person's work from another. And it's definitely a look, but it's not a look that I find overly entertaining. And maybe, it depends on what the book was. So maybe if the book was a pretty unique, had a pretty unique voice attached to it, from the creator, and the style fit the story, maybe it could work. But just looking at the images themselves, not a big fan of it. I don't really care for it. So I hope I'm not stepping on any toes if there's a lot of Marvel Tumblr-ish fans. Like not everybody at Marvel's drawing that way either, but there is a faction that's doing that, or a group, because they still have some pretty talented people over there, and some of them are still doing monthly work, which is pretty amazing. They're not just cover artists. Because I think Marvel was doing that for a while, where they were just paying like A-list guys to do covers, and then putting in different talent, the Tumblr type talent, on the interiors. Tumblr art. That's the only way I can describe it. Like I say, I hope I'm not hurting any Tumblr art fans' feelings out there. Because that was not my intention. It's just an observation. This pin is not going to serve me in the smaller details. So I'm probably going to draw for, I don't know, it's for another hour. So I'm not going to continue this thing, for hours and hours. So I hope you guys are entertained and enjoy this, because this is what I'm probably going to have to do for the next couple months to get this book done. I am going to try my darndest to get this book done and out to you guys in a quicker fashion. I do appreciate everybody that supported Black and White and has been very patient with that process, because I did do my best to get the book done in a timely fashion, and I've said it before, the deadline that was initially given was with a remastered kind of deadline in mind, and that was pretty much where I was just going to clean up the artwork, and then that was going to be it. But what ended up happening is, as the campaign was going, I figured out a way to make the story better by making it longer, by adding stuff and clarifying some points and things like that. And so by doing that, it just opened the creative floodgates. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I'm a crazy perfectionist, and I want to make sure that everything can be the best it possibly can. Especially, I wanted to do that because it's my first big creator-owned foray since the 90s. And so I wanted to make a splash. I wanted to, hold my own and give you guys the best product I could. And so that's what happened. So one thing led to another, and the book kept getting bigger and more elaborate and more detailed. And so it took longer, and I do apologize. And it was a little self-indulgent on my part, because I really did want it to be the best I could possibly make it. It's so different than working for Marvel or DC. It's way more personal, and you want to make sure that it's like really, really good, like almost better than the stuff that you did for Marvel and DC. And so that's kind of what I was trying to do with it, is to just really make this thing rock. And I think I did. I can't wait for you guys to see it and get feedback on it and see if you think it's cool or not. I hope you do. I hope you like it, because it was definitely not phoned in. And neither will Chrono. But what I did with this is, like I said, this is pretty much renders breakdowns, or based on my layouts. And so I'm going to do finished art over them. And so most of the book is done, but the pages that aren't, Render Contender is going to help me out with. And I think between layouts and his work so far, I think we have 4 pages done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there's 4 pages done, and so this is a very good start. So we are gearing up to get this done a lot quicker. And like I said, I really hope you guys like my drawing streams and inking streams, because I think this is, I'm going to try to talk about, I'll bring up other subjects and whatever you guys in the chat want to talk about, we'll do. So it'll be entertaining. But I'm going to be chained to this drawing board. I'm not going to disconnect myself from the process. So I'm going to do my best to be on YouTube, hang out with you guys, have fun, but at the same time, making a major effort to get this book done and into your hands, because I do realize that you're putting a lot of faith in me when you back a tier, and I am grateful that you do that. So I do not want to let you guys down, and I want to try to do everything in my power to get this process in a place where I can get it done faster and get the books into your hands quicker. My wife is here. What is up, wife?
Oh, nothing.
People love our banter. They love it.
Well, move on in.
Move on up.
We got a lot of it.
We banter our butts off. So somebody in the chat, I forget who now, and I can't go back because there's a billion people in here and this thing's going crazy. We're partying our butts off. He said that I need to start insulting people and I guess have a more salty demeanor. So I told him I would work on it, but it's not really in my
your wheelhouse.
It's not really in my wheelhouse.
No, don't.
I know, but
if you want insults, there's a million of them on Facebook and all that junk.
Yeah, but what if it gets us subs? Would you sell your soul and start insulting people to get a sub?
No.
You know what I will do, though? I will eat a really bad Hostess fruit pie right on the live stream for you guys.
You've done that.
I have done that. I did that. Was it Sunday? What is today? Today's Tuesday already, right? No, Monday.
This is Monday.
Oh, yeah, I know why. Because it was Saturday. Because usually Render and I get together Sunday. So that's why I was thrown off. So it was Saturday that Render Contender and I, we had a bet and we ate a crappy, I'm sorry, Hostess, a really bad, this is where I'll get salty, a really bad Hostess fruit pie. And the bet was like, oh, we wanted to see if you could get the whole thing in our mouths, right?
Yeah, but you guys, they were little.
Yeah, well, because you didn't give us the big ones.
I couldn't find the big ones.
It's just
I don't think they make those anymore.
You know
or
what?
at least Rouse doesn't carry them.
You know what? It's just as good because those little ones sticking the whole thing in your mouth, they're so dry, and that I dare call it pastry. I don't think it's pastry. I don't know what the heck that is. Paper, cardboard, maybe.
Or maybe it is paste holding it all together, and
Yeah.
you get it wet.
Well, for kids that ate paste when they were children, it's probably delicious. But for me, it was torture. And I couldn't imagine trying to eat a bigger, like a full-size one, putting that whole thing in your mouth. I think we would have choked to death.
Well, hon, I do have to tell them, I have seen you shove a whole piece of pizza in your mouth.
Yeah, but pizza's good. Pizza's delicious. This was hell. But that's what I'll do for you guys. I'll eat bad crap.
This person says they used to advertise Hostess fruit pies in comics.
Oh, that's right. They'd have like Marvel or DC superheroes, and they would do little comic strips.
This one person says, ask your daughter to insult people. She's a younger generation.
Yeah. You know what? That is a pretty apt observation.
No, we'd smack her upside her beady little head.
Yeah, but I don't think she'd have a problem doing it.
Well, I'm leaving. I'll let you go back to your...
You're leaving?
Yes.
Forever?
No, just down to the laundry room.
Oh, you're just going downstairs. Man, that sounded profound. That made me scared for a minute. I'm leaving you, Art. Oh, that would be good for numbers. Art gets dumped on live stream.
Just when he was opening up his heart about not wanting to disappoint us.
That's what happens. You put your heart out there, people step on it. Let that be a lesson to you. So the Chrono characters have big hands. They all have big hands. So I'm probably just going to do some structure outline work for you guys because otherwise I'd have to bring a pencil in, and pencil isn't good for entertainment. You just can't see it. You just can't see it. And I got to get my rhythm back because the Chrono line weights are a little thicker because they're cartoons, and cartoons have thicker lines. It's the language. I don't know why. I don't question these things. I just do them. I just do. So, I have a couple Halloween shows for you guys. I was thinking the other day, and I have Charlize Theron or however you say her name to thank for it because I'm a big Addams Family fan, and there's the new Addams Family movie coming out, and I'm such a Charles Addams fan that, and he's the original cartoonist, that I was thinking, and my family loves the Addams Family as well, so I was going to take them to see the movie, and I was actually looking forward to doing that, but just like everything else, no one can shut their traps, and so she and that Oscar Isaacs are on, and they do the voice. If you don't know, there's a new cartoon coming out, Addams Family cartoon for Halloween, and the artwork looks like they're definitely tipping their hat to the original creator, Charles Addams, who he worked and did cartoon comic strips for the New Yorker, and he brought a lot of macabre and different fun kind of stuff to the forefront, and in definitely a stodgy, uppity time, he was pushing things, and so there were these reoccurring characters in the New Yorker. They were never called the Addams Family, but for just, they pretty much were the Addams Family. They didn't become the Addams Family until the TV show. So the TV show basically put a story and a name. I don't even think the characters had names in the comic strips. But anyway, so I'm going to do a show just on the Addams Family, you guys, because I love all the history and everything. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. I got to get some photos together and different stuff together, so we can talk about the history of the Addams Family and Charles Addams and all that. But anyway, so you can obviously tell I'm a big fan of Charles Addams' work and the Addams Family as just an idea. And so Charlize and Oscar Isaacs are on this promotional tour. I don't even know why they have these guys do these press junkets. They ended up, long story short, they ended up like making me not want to go to see the movie, and I'm probably not going to go see the movie. And my family are kind of wired the same way as I am, so they were kind of like, no, and we don't want to go see it. We don't want to support this after all this crap. So none of these guys can just go, here's the movie, it's cool, it's a cartoon for kids, bring the family. You know, they can't do that stuff anymore. Everybody has to use these platforms to virtue signal and talk about politics and crap. Like, this show is made for kids. Bring your your families, your parents are going to bring the kids, and you're going to have a nice little spooky adventure, like fun kid spooky adventure for the family, like make memories. And then, you know, Oscar, they start getting into this political stuff, and he's like, you know, tear down or tear down the wall or whatever, or stop building the wall or whatever the hell he says, right? And I'm thinking, douchebag, that wall has always been there. This president did not build that freaking wall. The wall has always existed. And this is the thing that pisses me up. Oh God, you guys, I'm sorry. This is because this was a couple days ago that I saw those guys interviewed and talking about this. So I'm going to have to try to calm down. This wall has been there forever. You know, we've always had a wall between us and, you know, our neighboring countries. So it's not like this administration built this wall. And it's not like this administration is the first to say we need to kind of, you know, have more stringent, I guess immigration policies, or try to step up, you know, ways to stop people from coming in here illegally. No one's saying that they don't want, you know, people to come in. That's the false narrative. No one's saying that they don't believe that, you know, America is built on immigrants coming from other people with other points of view, and bringing them and melding into the, you know, American ethos or whatever. No one's saying that, but they turn it into that. So the wall's always been there, and even Obama, their precious Obama, has said similar things about keeping the border strong and stuff like that. Hillary, Bill Clinton, you know, all these guys. So I don't know where they're coming, you know, off with this. It's all just Donald Trump and the Republicans right now. And I don't want to become too political with this, but too late. So then, you know, Oscar Isaacs throws that thing out there like, oh, well, that's his little virtue signal, right, for the press junket. He just scored points there, so he's good. And so then they start getting into more immigration. And so then this Charlize starts blowharding that she came to whatever country and she didn't know the language, and she's trying to like talk about how hard it is to be an immigrant and stuff like that. But in the main, you know, language barrier and stuff like that, she knows 2 languages now. She's probably pretty fluent at it. Some people pay a lot of money to go to school to learn multiple languages. So, you know, I don't see this as a negative that you actually are fluent at 2 languages. I have a good friend that his family came to California from Mexico illegally, and they were deported, and they went back. They had to go back. And so what his father did, because he loved America so much, he worked his butt off to come back into the country legally, and he did. And so my friend remembers Mexico and how oppressive and horrible it was. And he's fluent at 2 languages. He came to America and had to assimilate and had to learn another language. And now the guy's fluent at multiple languages. And one of his job descriptions is, I think he sails and he oversees this company. So he travels. He's a liaison to Mexico. So he goes to Mexico because one of the plants are there, and he works with them. So he's bilingual. So, you know what I mean? If he didn't have that background, he wouldn't be that proficient at it. And so I don't see that necessarily as a negative, Charlize. I mean, it just is what it is. And we all have trials and tribulations that we have to go through. And then she brings up white privilege. She says, her successes or whatever, I forget how she said it, are, due to this imaginary white privilege that exists in the world. And so right then I was like, I'm not going to go see your movie. I'm not going to go see The Addams Family. How dare you turn this little family movie, this concept, into virtue signaling and politicizing a movie. It's a children's movie. This is for kids. This is just entertainment. This isn't politics. This isn't policy. This isn't any of that crap. It's just a fun 2-hour movie, and you're turning this into just a horrible experience. You have to have a message, a deeper message in a kid's movie. Well, no, just have a good universal story. I'm not saying that there can't be a message in it, but your message is very one-sided. It's not even a really universal one. And when you start saying your white privilege, that's just, to me, that's really douchey, man. That's your white privilege. What are you talking about? I mean, Halle Berry is as big of a star as you are. Did her white privilege get her there? I don't know. How does that work? Did her white privilege, is that the only reason she got those jobs that she got to I don't know. This stuff boggles my mind. It boggles my mind to no end. And so I was just like, I know a lot of poor white people. Where's their white privilege? Where's my white privilege? Where is this white privilege that you talk about? And if she has any privilege, it's because she's gorgeous, man. She's gorgeous, and she's relatively, she's put together well. She's eloquent. She can put a thought together. She can string a sentence along. She dresses well. At this point now, she's got success and money. So what privilege is she talking about? Like, privilege used to be like you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, or that your parents were rich, or there's a certain privilege that comes with that you're attractive, like that could get you some privilege points, because people might treat they treat people that are attractive better than they treat people that are ugly or not so attractive or average. So those are real scales of privilege, I believe. I don't know what white privilege, because if there was such a thing as white privilege, then how do you explain poor white people? Or struggling white people, which I know a lot of struggling white people. Where's their privilege? Where does this privilege exist? I just don't understand it. I always thought, like, when I was younger, they were just like the haves and have-nots. So, it was more like people in general rallied against the haves that were kind of jerks with it, or that lorded power or money over you. So there were haves and have-nots that way. So it was basically, you fight the power. You fight the power. The power could be black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. It's just the power. Oprah's a very powerful person. She's very rich. Obama's a very rich and powerful person. There's a lot of, Asian, black, Hispanic, powerful people. It's not just all white people. So I don't, can we get back to just fighting the power? Like, why do we have to fight race? Like somehow because you're born white, you have privilege. In this day and age, in this modern day and age, I'm not talking about, hundreds of years ago or whatever. I'm talking about the here and now. I don't think that exists. And also, how do you explain Obama? How do you explain that? Like, yeah, the world is racist and horrible, and we had a black president. One of the richest, not just, black people, but women in the world is Oprah Winfrey. How do you explain that? Did she get where she's going because of racism? Or did Whitey give that to her? Did they privilege it to her like a gift? Like, we're going to let you become successful. It's asinine. I got to check the chat because I'm probably going off on a crazy rail here. And you guys are probably like, what the hell is he talking about? I thought this was a party about chrono mechanics. Okay. We got Durakin in here. Hey, how you doing? Comics Legend. Where's Tag? Because, yeah, Tag would probably reel me in. She's doing her own thing now. She's not part of the studio. Okay. Oh, you guys have been busy. You guys have been busy. I pushed a couple buttons here. Get him, Art. All right, so I have an encouragement from Eric Weathers. RT Bear is going to go on another rant. Yes, Biffy Tannen. Ted, the separation of children from parents was started by Obama. There was a lot of separation, actually, in the Obama administration. I was really, really surprised. I thought it would unify. I thought we could finally end the argument and move forward. And that guy was one of the most divisive presidents I think we've ever had. And I think history will show that guy was, for the lack of a better term, probably racist. America never had any problems before Trump. People tend to forget that fact. Yeah, no one hated that guy before. Yeah, actually, he was kind of a Hollywood media darling, wasn't he? Didn't he have the TV show and stuff, and all kinds of celebrities would go on his program? And then they couldn't get enough, because he'd get to humiliate them and say that you're fired. Wasn't that his catchphrase? You're fired. You're fired. I can't do a good accent. I don't want to get political, but Little Debbie is the superior pie. Yes, it is. And you know what else? I think they were called in the day. What the hell were they called? They were like their icon, or they had an IP. They had the Peanuts gang attached to them. Was it Dolly Madison? Dolly Madison, as a baker, had a superior product to Hostess as well. And I think Hostess since has went bankrupt. I think they're back. Somebody else bought them. And I think they're producing like Dolly Madison stuff. Because I used to love Zingers, those raspberry. They're like Twinkies, but they're superior to Twinkies. I don't know what Twinkies are made out of. But at least the Zingers still taste like cake. So I like the Zingers. I like the name too. The Zingers. So yeah, you know what? I might get a Little Debbie cherry pie today and see. I'm going to take you up on that, Biffy Tannen. So yeah, she's really suffering. Are we talking about Charlize? Yeah, so Nine says, or Nin, Charlize Theron, or however you say her name, is nuts. Beautiful but nuts. Oscar Isaac is Poe from Star Wars, so he doesn't count. I don't know. He had a lot more charm than she did, but he was saying some crap too. I like that guy I like her as an actress too. The problem with these guys, and that's why I said they should keep their mouths shut, is because I like them. I like their movies. I like their characters that they play. But when they start talking this way, it forces me to kind of dislike them because I think they're just feeding that narrative, the divisive narrative. It's a false narrative, and it lets everybody, it reinforces to everybody that things aren't okay. There's racism. There's an unfair, life is, this unfair equation. And yeah, no shit, life is unfair. You're beautiful. You know what I mean? You're gorgeous. Life is unfair. You get a lot of opportunity that people that are average don't. So if you want to talk about privilege, talk about that you're gorgeous. And you had nothing to do with that. You were just born with that. So the only privilege I see is that you have a public persona, you have money, and you're gorgeous. That's it. That's it. Virtue signaling is the worst thing going. I'm going to start highlighting some of this. You guys are rocking it here. Thank you. I know she's older too, and she's still pretty hot, man. Like she's going to be one of those girls that women that's going to age well. Like what is the other one? Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, she has privilege, but it's just privilege, right? It's not just white privilege. She has privilege. I don't get to talk on these news outlets. So it'd be fair and just people pastry politics. It's funny. Okay. There was definitely white privilege in the South and South Africa. Yeah, because she's from South Africa, right? Yeah, because I thought most of South Africa was British, like white. Okay, hey Pamela, should I read Durakins? I've been informed that there will be cheesecake here.
Ooh. I'll gladly make a cheesecake.
But how do we get it to them? How do we feed them cheesecake? Hey, Durakin, if you weren't here early on, I said this was a bring your own. So this is a party, but you have to bring your own to the party.
Well, no, I can make a cheesecake.
But we can't get it to them. We've already established that. You can, and we can eat it. We can eat it live and just flaunt it into
with cherries on top.
You have like a cherries Jubilee cheesecake. What is that? What do you call that?
I call that just a cheesecake. It's not the baked kind, but
it's good though. It's really good.
Yum. Now I want one.
Uh-oh. Controversy.
Or caramel cheesecake.
Wait, saying there's not white privilege is privilege. I love these guys. See how that works? Wait a minute. Where's the cheesecake? You guys are running amok.
That's true.
This one?
Yeah.
Notice any of these people aren't rushing to give up their exactly. Yeah. Like, maybe she should have stepped down and said, maybe a person of color should take this role. And also, by the way, just to back up, when I saw the trailer for The Addams Family, I was like, this looks really, really good. But whoever they got to do the voice of Morticia was horrible. And then it turns out it's Charlize. And the reason I say that is because what's her name from Angelica Houston from the movie? Mm-hmm. Like she just kind of embodied the character, but it didn't seem like she was trying to be creepy. She just kind of was matter-of-factly creepy. And Charlize's performance, I know it's just her voice, but when you hear her perform the voice acting for Morticia, it sounds like she's trying to be creepy. Like it's too obvious. And when I heard that, I was like, no, this is wrong. So she's not that good. Well, you can read these if you want. It's true. My beauty gets me free stuff all the time. Yeah, I wish I could say the same. It gets me, you know what gets me everywhere is my inks. It opens all doors. It's my ink privilege. I have ink privilege. The only privilege in the world is born into wealth. Here we go. Is born into wealth. There are rich people of every color. Yes,
That's
yes,
true.
there are. Yes, there are.
And does that mean that if two rich people have a child, then they're born into privilege? Whether it's white, black, yellow,
exactly,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then that way is it's not discrimination. It's not like all white people are rich, which is a total and complete false narrative. Because if it was true, we would all be rich, or at least we'd be way more successful than we are right now.
Or good looking. I want to get the free stuff that.
Well, yeah, but I don't know how to burst your bubble, but
oh, trust me, honey. I got that.
Oh, here we go. Privilege is a construct that can't be solved. It's designed to be unsolvable and incalculable. Yeah, I guess you mean the white privilege aspects, right? Because there is a type of privilege that can exist, but also just by saying privilege, like if you're born into wealth, it's not saying you're a bad person either. It just means you have privilege. But the way they say it, white privilege, it's like a negative. But just privilege in general doesn't discriminate. It's not necessarily positive or negative. It just is privilege. It's just a way of describing someone's existence. Are we talking about Charlize here? Watched her Hot Ones video the other day. She made me hungry for the chicken wings. Wait a minute. Are we talking about Charlize? She has a video where she eats chicken wings? That might be sexy. That might be hot. Okay, you always have a good insight here. All the things that supposedly make me privileged are statistically the things that employers don't want to employ with who have, I don't know what that symbol means. What is that symbol? Looks like a cat face. I don't know. I'm not that hip. Yeah, Jim Lee, is it his privilege? It's a pretty successful comic book artist that isn't white. Because truth is, if you're going to fight the power, you're going to largely be fighting Jews, Asians, and women. Yeah, I don't know. We need a redistribution of beauty. That's good. I'm sure this is killing the stream, me reading these things. Oh, yeah. Let's do this. Back to Chrono Mechanics, people. All right, I'm going to start inking again. Man, I was so easily seduced by this. Yeah. Yeah, it's a completely false narrative. You guys see through it. I see through it. And the only reason I do feel the need to even say these things is I do think there needs to be a little bit of pushback with these knuckleheads. So, yeah. You know what? If I could ship the cheesecake, I would, because my wife loves to bake and cook. She's a baker and cooker. She's a cook baker. Start inking. Yes. Okay. I will. Cool. Slick Rick, we have to clarify. Hot Ones is a YouTube channel that features interviews with celebs while they get through increasingly. Oh, that would be good. Watch them sweat. Yeah, that would be funny. So I think I got Skippy's pencils in tight enough that I can ink. Man, I was easily sidetracked by the chat. And all this cheesecake talk is also making me very hungry. And it's 1 o'clock and I haven't eaten lunch yet. So I'm going to ink for maybe about 15, 20 more minutes since I talk so much. See how much I can get through in that amount of time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This is always a blast. And since I have a lot of work to do, perhaps after I eat lunch, I'll come back. I'll have to evaluate where everything's at. There's a series of fires that come up during the day that need to be put out. Also, I'm talking to Nick Barucci over at Dynamite Entertainment about a Indiegogo campaign which will feature my black and white Vampirilla cover that I did. I did some stuff live, so if you guys look back, you might be able to find some of it. So we're going to put plans together for that Indiegogo campaign. So that will be something to look forward to as well. So much stuff happening. It seems weird because it seems like everything for a long time just stagnates and nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, the accumulation of all those things that I wasn't paying attention and that I wasn't showing you guys all comes to fruition. And it seems like it all happens at the same time. You know, like the CHRONO campaign, and then the Vampirilla black and white campaign. Vampirilla. Yeah, I thought that cover came out really good. There's quite a little buzz going on over at Dynamite. I think they're talking about possibly making it into a lithograph as well. So that would be really, really cool. So things is happening. And also, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but some people come in late, that black and white is at the printers right now, you guys. And I do appreciate your patience because it's taking a little bit longer than I had said it would take. So the update is it's at the printer, and as far as I know, we are still online for November. So Hack Shack will have the books in November, and that we will start fulfilling that campaign as soon as we get the books. So as soon as we get those books, they will start going out, because I can say that because my wife has all the labels already printed up. We have all the stretch goals printed up, except for we just upgraded the you know what, I think I have it somewhere. We just upgraded the cover, so not only the paper but the cover stock as well. And let me screen share here and I'll show you what else. So I hit this and then I go over here. So hopefully you guys can see this. If you haven't seen, this is the cover to CHRONO Mechanics. And also, you guys, this CHRONO Mechanics volume, this graphic novel, will be self-contained. So it's not serialized. Hopefully, if you guys like it, there will be another CHRONO story, but this is self-contained. So this is not one of two or one of anything. This is a one and done. So we don't have to worry about a follow-up or anything like that. So I was really happy that I was able to structure the story to where it was more of a one and done. So we have that. And so this is going strong. I thought I would share this with you. I thought these things came out cool. These are, wait, I didn't do them in order. Okay. So these are the countdown graphics that I put together. So we have I started it yesterday, so this will there's 3 gears, so it'll be 3, 2, 1. So this was for yesterday, and so then I would cross one off, and then add another one for day 2. So then tomorrow this will have a check mark on it, and then the green one will have 3, and then Wednesday it'll have a check mark, and then underneath it'll say go. Really big. So we're going live Wednesday on the Chrono Mechanics one and done 48-page graphic novel with hopes to be a 60-page graphic novel, because that would be cool. So if you guys can get in early, support it, we can get this book up to 16 or 60 pages, which would be crazy cool. All right, this is what I wanted to show you. So like I said, not only did we upgrade the paper, because I've been talking with the printer and seeing what they can do. And at first I was thinking more of a traditional like 90s ash can. But then I was like, it's been a while. The printer can do more. So I thought I would give you guys something a little extra. I'd upgrade this ash can. So like I said, not only is the paper going to be upgraded from what it was originally going to be, the cover is a heavier stock cardboard, and the cover went from black and white to color. And this thing came out so freaking cool. So this is a remastering of the original cover from 1994. So this was the original black and white cover that came out, Image Extreme, back in 94. So I came in, remastered, cleaned up. I pretty much redrew the faces, shortened some of the arms. Some of the oddness of my drawing style in 94, I took care of, I redrew, and then I cleaned up a lot of the line art. So then sent it off to Priya, who is the colorist for black and white. So this will give you a taste also of what the interiors will look like. And he just knocked it out of the ballpark. He just freaking knocked it out of the ballpark. Look at this thing. My gosh. Man, I don't know. I haven't expressed lately, well, I probably have, because I'm very gracious, how overwhelmed I am at being able to do these near and dear to my heart characters and bring them to you guys and have you supported in such a gracious way. I can't wait to get this book into your hands and see what you think. And please, when you get them, for right or wrong, good or bad, give me a little bit of a review. Tweet them up, Facebook, send them out, because I do need to hear your feedback. Like I said, good or bad. Hopefully it's good, because I have a fragile ego. But either way is okay. So I left the original AT. If you guys remember in the 90s, I signed my name like that. Little backstory, the reason I don't anymore is because Bat, the inker, if you notice, he just added a B to the beginning of it and another T to the end. But the AT in the middle of Bat is done exactly like my AT. So he stole my signature. So he can have it. He can have it. Choke on it. Nah, he's a good friend. Yeah, Matt's a good friend. He's a brilliant inker too. Brilliant talent, good inker. And I busted his hump about the signature. He doesn't care. I don't care. So I think I got a better signature now anyway. And mine's a derivative of the Frank Frazetta. It's kind of Frank Frazetta, Walt Disney. I like those signatures. So it's kind of a derivative of that anyway. So we all get our stuff from somewhere. So yeah, this is the bonus 16-page ash can. So it kicks mucho butt. And I'm so glad. Like, this wouldn't have happened if we went in, and did this a month ago, fulfilled it or whatever. So some of these upgrades and some of these changes are happening because of the duration of time. So it's not all negative. It's not all bad. But I do wish I could get it into your hands quicker. And that's the plan with Chrono. And also Chrono is a one and done. So you guys won't have to wait for a follow-up, which I think after Black and White Volume 2, if you guys are still very supportive, I would like to, keep creating. And I'll probably do, more one and dones So the page count might be a little higher, but they'll be, all inclusive, all encompassing, because it does take a while from issue to issue. And if I could figure out a way to get them done quicker without compromising or becoming some kind of assembly line, studio, which I don't want to do. I want these things to, why become Marvel or DC? I could do that type of assembly line work there, but I don't want to do that. I want this to be like personal. I want it to feel like it's not assembly line, that these are near and dear, and that these stories could only come from Hack Shack and could only come from me. And I don't mean that in any kind of ego way. I just mean that I'm not in it to pump out a bunch of books. I'm kind of in it to make like personal creator-owned, books. And I don't have any bigger goal at this point. I just want to put out, good comic books for you guys. So that's the plan. Let's get a little bit of the elucidator so you can see him come to life. Yeah, so that's the plan, Stan. So the elucidator, I should have him smile. He should be smiling at Skippy, because this whole thing is to bring a smile to Skippy, to comfort the lad. Skippy's young, but he's got an old soul. Yeah, there's a lot of cool characters in this world. I do feel it is a complete world. I've spent a lot of time not just developing it as a comic IP, but as a cartoon show as well. And I'm going to try to work this into the campaign, and maybe in the chat, let me know how you feel. But I have a movie script, a CHRONO MECHANICS movie script that a Hollywood screenwriter and friend of mine, Matt Hillary, was sweet enough. Like, he just like, I want to do like a comic book property with you, like one of your comic book properties, and adapt it to a screenplay. And I was like, yeah, that would be cool. And so we worked for years on it, and it kind of got shopped around, but just like everything else, it's like, well, something might happen, something might not, but that's not really what I'm about anyway. I wouldn't mind if it happened, but that's not my main pursuit. My main pursuit is just making good comic books for you guys. And so I have that script, and Matthew gave me permission, his agent. This stuff isn't easy to do, you guys, like to have his agent, my agent, and then both of us to sign off that we could actually, put a movie script into an Indiegogo campaign. But I just don't know really how to do it. I don't know how to monetize or really market a movie script. I guess I could just do it as an add-on or a tier if you guys are interested, because I don't know if you guys are like me. I like to read movie scripts. I think it's pretty entertaining. And CHRONO MECHANICS is a very entertaining movie script. It's not really sterile like some movie scripts are, just like direction, overly with the direction, like, oh, camera here, whatever. It's a lot more entertaining than that. So I think that would be cool to try to bring that into the campaign, just as a way to get you just kind of more, because each one of these takes is kind of uniquely different. The movie script is kind of an adaptation of the comic, but not really. It's pretty much its own beast. And it's not done yet, but I'm also working with a novelist. Her name's Kim Vandervoort, and she and I, along with my wife as editor, have been working on a novel adaptation of Chrono for some years as well. So she had mentioned that she wouldn't mind making the book part of one of these campaigns as well. So that could be fun. So there's all kinds of fun stuff that we can do down the line. It's going to be a 6 month, listen to me, 2 month, 60-day campaign. So it's going to be a little longer than Black and White. I feel if Black and White could have went for longer than a month, we could have got more eyes on it, because at the time I didn't really have too much of a YouTube following, and I didn't understand how important this group of people like yourself is to a campaign. And now I do, and I think I've built it up a little bit more. It's still very modest, and it's a pretty humble channel, but it is building. God, you guys, in the last 2 days, I think I've gotten over 300 subs, and it used to take me, freaking 6 months to get that kind of attention. So I do appreciate it, and I do thank you for helping get the word out. Any kind of, support in the form of getting the word out, I appreciate. Tweet, thumb this video up, sub, get your friends to sub if they like, old comic book veterans talking about, in the day we used to ink with dirt. But like stories about, the comics industry, and watch me ink and draw and talk about IPs. I would really appreciate it, because that's how this is all done, word of mouth. So I'm going to finish up Skippy's face, and then I'm going to go grab some chow. I got invited to go box seats to a Jimmy Buffett concert. Was it Friday night? And I declined. All I know, the only song I know from that guy is Cheeseburger in Paradise. I assume he's got more than just that song, but that's the only one I know. So I felt bad. I was like, no. Even though you're giving me the tickets, I'm not are they called parrot heads? I'm not a parrot head. So I could have saw Jimmy Buffett. I don't know. He could be good. Maybe I should have went. But I only know that one song. And that song isn't good enough to get me to drive to the Honda Center. and fight those crowds, the parrot head crowds. All right, I hope I'm not stepping on any toes, but that Cheeseburger in Paradise song is pretty horrible. Cheeseburger in Paradise. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. So this page will get done by the end of day. Like I said, I got to get that cartoon rhythm, that thicker line rhythm in, because it works so much better for this style. But I'm still in realistic mode. Oh, this will be my parting shot. I have a couple pages from the original Chrono. So this is a patch. I think that goes here. So there's the Chrono ship after the crash. So this is a finished up page that will be in the book. They abandoned poor Doug. Doug waves on dejected. And he goes back to the only thing he knows how to do, rock. So yeah, so this is a little Chrono preview here of pages that will be in the book. And you got to see me working on one. And let me go back to the chat briefly. Switch my camera out. So thank you guys so much for hanging. It's been a blast. It makes it so much so much less boring for me. Hey Art, 100% of the chat liked your video. Congrats. Oh, wow. I'm not sure really what that means, but that's awesome. I don't know how you guys figured this stuff out. I'm just too busy just doing my day-to-day. Comics Gate loves our Thibert. Aw. Aw. Oh, yeah. It'll be a stocking stuffer. So black and white will be the stocking stuffer for you guys. Don't roll them up, though, because then they won't be worth any money. Unless you bought two, then you could roll one up. What the F, man? What's going on? I got to go back here. I go back in time. I got to figure out how to mark these so I don't read the same ones over and over again. Ooh, I don't know who this person is. I got to check that out. It's stunning. I don't know if it's Vampirilla 2 or Vampirilla 1. I have no idea. Nick and I, like, our emails are very cryptic. So neither one of us really answer each other's questions. So it's slowly moving forward. So I'm not sure if it's volume 1 or volume 2. Oh, you guys are talking about that eating wings show. I got to check this out. Yeah, because sometimes hot sauce is like, it's a slow burn. It takes a while. Okay, I'm back to the start inking where you guys are like, just start working, man. We'll take care of the heavy lifting. We'll talk to each other. We don't need you. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go grab some food, and I'll probably be back because this, unless there's a lot of fires to put out, I believe I'll have time to come back and work. Wait, what is this? Doesn't help when YouTube won't let us click the thumbs up, though. I don't know what that means. So that thumbs up button, it won't let you guys do that? That's weird. There's two formats or platforms. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like Twitter, and I kind of don't like YouTube. The only thing that keeps me in the YouTube game is you guys and being able to interact. I might go get a cheeseburger. I had one yesterday, though. Is it bad if you have one more than like 2 days in a row, or more than one day? Pages look great. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much, man. It means a lot. Yes, there will be. I'm not gonna. It's hard to sell like pages. Like you just go, oh, pages for sale, but you don't know what pages that you're asking for or what you're going to get. So what I'm going to do is, as the pages get done and sell, let me explain it this way. I'm going to post up the ones that are done, so you get to see those. So there's only going to be one at a time, though. So there'll be one page that will go up as a tier. So once that sells, or if it looks like it's not going to sell, like it goes for I don't know, longer than a week, then I'll put a new page in to take its place. So I'm only going to do one page at a time, and they're either going to not sell, and so I'll determine, if they're not doing well, then I'll pull it down, and then I'll add a new one. Or if it sells, then I'll add a new one. And this way you can see the artwork. So what I'll probably do is, in the updates and stuff, I'll post the actual page. You can see it in the little thumbnail that's on the tier, but you can't see the whole page. So I'll probably put that in the update so you can see the entire inked page. However, the page that I do have up is part of the campaign, so you can see it in all its glory at this point in the campaign. So there will be original art, and it is it's priced at a pretty reasonable price. At this point, I'm thinking I want to get my artwork into your hands. So if there's somebody out there that will not cherish it, but will actually put it in their collection, think it's cool, and it will be part of I don't know, their collection, it means more to me than it here in the Thibert vault just kind of collecting dust. So at this point, I would rather get artwork into your hands. So I do have having said that, I do have an artwork site, and I believe it's in the description. So if you click on that after the stream, you can go see some of the pages. There's no chrono pages there offered, and there's no black and white pages offered there. Most of it's Marvel DC, but there is artwork there if you want to check it out. So it keeps on what? It keeps unliking. Somebody said that too. I think in one of the streams, they were like, you have like 50 people that giving you thumbs down. And I was like, what? It's like I was the most hated person on YouTube for that day. And then it ended up reversing. Like, for some reason, maybe it was glitching or something. It went it went back, because when I posted it, there was like one thumbs down and the rest were thumbs up. So I have absolutely no idea what's happening with YouTube. And to be honest, like with Twitter, I just don't have the time to really figure it out either. So I just appreciate you guys making an effort. And if it's not allowing you to do it, then I appreciate you guys making the effort. What is this now? I hit it 10 times and it keeps backing it back off. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look into, well, you know what? I probably won't, but but I'll keep my ear. If something just comes up, I'll try to figure it out, or if it comes up organically in a conversation. So we have Artist Chronicles. Yeah, it's not accepting the likes. So Yeah, I appreciate it, you guys, but don't worry about it. And I just want to let you guys know who Artist Chronicles is. That B in the word balloon, that is Barberi. That is Carlo, the great artist. So he has a YouTube channel, and it's brilliant. He draws, he talks, he entertains you guys, and I think he just put it up maybe a month ago. So he's doing really, really well. So go over there after you're done here, and hopefully YouTube will let you sub and like. And I think somebody says this too. I listened to Nerdrotic, and is it Clownfish TV, which, by the way, I might be on both of those shows coming up soon. They're going to help me push Chrono. They've talked about YouTube changing the algorithms and making it harder for I guess little YouTube channels like ours to get ahead. So they're favoring more the corporate and the bigger wigs. So I think it's their way of trying to weed out the riffraff, because I do think they're trying to create a network here. I do believe they want to be more like a not Netflix necessarily, but like an entertainment network. And so to do that, they need to get rid of riffraff and free thinking people like us, because they can't really advertise. It's not safe for advertisers because we could say anything. We could do anything. They can't control it. And so I think that's what you're seeing, and why you're seeing it is because I do believe these are the privilege. This is the power to fight, you guys. Let's stop fighting each other over race and religion. This is the fight, man. This is real. This is the corporation that is basically getting involved with freedom of speech. So this is the battle, you guys. It's not Charlize's white privilege, you know. So anyway, yeah, go check out Carlo's site, because it is really cool, and to watch him draw and things is awesome. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Me too, at least 10 times, and keep backing. Yeah, I guess just maybe come back later and try hitting it, or because I don't know if people have talked about not being subbed, and so in your favorites, sometimes people are getting bumped because I'm not getting notifications too on my favorite YouTube channels when they're going live and when they post a new video as well. So yeah, there is some kind of hanky-panky shenanigans going on there. So let's not let it discourage us and keep forging forward. But I do appreciate you guys' help, and thanks for the insight. Yeah, maybe it's a Chrome glitch then. It could be. I guess we'll just wait and see how, once I, close this and it posts up, maybe things will change. I'm not sure. Yeah, I am a boomer, you guys, and I don't really understand the way a lot of this stuff works, but it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So thanks again, you guys, for hanging out. And once again, this is only going to be up for today and tomorrow. So if you want those free, it's basically the whole set at this point of trading cards for Chrono Mechanics. You will get that, but only if you sign up here. So we get the full set, which is 10 cards, and each one of the cards coincides one of the tiers and focuses on one of the core characters. So this way, when you flip it over, you can get all the stats on each one of the characters. And there's even going to be a Chrono Incorporated card, so you guys can read up, basically read their mission statement, why they were, formed, and what they do. And you get all even the behind the scenes players like the foreman, Skippy, the elucidator. You'll get cards based on them with all their bios and stuff like that, and you'll get them absolutely free. But to qualify for that, you have to sign up for the pre-launch page now, and it's only going to be up for today and tomorrow. So if you know anybody that likes free trading cards and likes comic books and likes supporting these Indiegogo and independent creators, bring them over there. I would greatly appreciate. And wait, I know what I can do here. I should have done this earlier. This is all afterthought, you guys. But I believe I have a link here. Boom, baby. So in case I'm mistaken, this is the Chrono pre-launch page. So click that. You can go there and you can sign up. I should have done this earlier. It's in the description as well. So you can click on, as long as YouTube isn't screwing that up as well. It should be in the description. So thanks a lot, you guys. And oh, as a parting shot, if Carlo's still on and listening in the chat, I am going to be inking up one of his covers. So one of the Chrono Mechanics tiers is superstars. So I have 4 superstar pencilers, comic book artists, and animators coming in. They all did a cover for Chrono Mechanics. Oh my gosh, you guys. Comic book artists and cartoonists are the best. They're the freaking best. I don't care. They're the coolest people in the world. The generosity that Carlo has bestowed on this humble man is absolutely overwhelming. I cannot believe it. He gave me pencils of Caravaggio that are going to blow your mind. They're going to blow your mind. So I'm going to be bringing that piece together later live. So I probably will do that as a longer show, because it would be cool to see me ink it from beginning to end. But I don't know how you guys feel about that, because that's going to be at least 4 hours. I guess we can play it by ear, but I do want to do some longer, art threads or streams. But I just don't know how you guys are going to dig it, because I don't know how boring it'll be, and I don't know how dazzling I can be in conversation. But we can play it by ear. That's another fun aspect about this, is because I don't know what I'm going to do next, and that's part of the fun. So, but I am going to do that, so you'll at least get 2 hours of me hanging out, inking Carlo. And Carlo, if you're set up, man, you can come in. We'll hang out. We can hang out on a live stream if that's something that you're inclined. I'll talk to you. I'll DM you later. So he'll watch it. Hey, you can be part of it. Yeah. So thanks again, guys. Have a great Monday. Enjoy. And I may come back later after I eat. And like I said, if there aren't too many fires that I have to put out, and I can get back here in a timely fashion. So thanks again, you guys. Oh, Todd's in the chat. Hey, Todd. Todd's got a YouTube channel too. Go check him out. He's down. So Todd says he's down for a 4-hour ink stream. It's watching from the inside. Yeah, it'll be fun. So I guess we can just try it, and I'll see if you guys are like snoozing, and see how interesting it will be. So this is all experimental. We'll take it stream by stream. So once again, you guys enjoy your Monday, and tune back. I may be coming back. So hopefully YouTube will do their job and alert you that I'll be coming back. So boomer out. All right, you guys. See you later.